uma palavrinha com vocês?
Hello, back again on the Top Recap channel. This time I will tell a movie's entitled Yakuza Princess. Let's get straight into the storyline. The story begins by showing an incident 20 years ago, where a Japanese clan called the Takikawa clan was very feared throughout Japan. Clan Takikawa was holding a birthday party for their little daughter. Suddenly, one of their enemy groups brutally attacked the place and killed all members of the Takikawa clan. Fortunately, Takikawa's little daughter, Akemi, managed to survive the massacre. The scene then moves to 15 years after the tragedy. Akemi grew up in Brazil, one of the countries with the largest Japanese communities. Until now, she still doesn't know about the incident that happened to her family in the past. Akemi thought she was an ordinary girl living in Brazil with her dead grandfather. Worried that she would forget her origins, her grandfather's friend taught Akemi sword techniques. The scene then moves to Japan, where we are introduced to a high-ranking Yakuza named Takeshi. At that time, he was about to execute one of his subordinates for stealing funds from their gang organization. His subordinates then tried negotiating to tell Takeshi information that no one knew except him. But after Takeshi heard the information, Takeshi immediately killed the person along with two of his subordinates who were there. Feeling responsible for the mistakes of his men, Takeshi then went to see his superior, Kenichi, to apologize. Takeshi was willing to cut off one of his fingers to prove his loyalty to Kenichi. Fortunately, Kenichi stopped Takeshi's actions and believed that Takeshi's previous actions were for the sake of the organization, but not Kojiro, Kenichi's right-hand man, who disliked Takeshi from the start because he knew that Takeshi was a Yakuza from the Takikawa clan. The scene then moves back to Brazil. We are shown a man named Ronin, who has just woken up and can't remember what happened to him. All the doctors who treated him at the hospital could also not find the patient's identity. The doctor then contacted the police, hoping that it would help them find the man's identity. But Ronin, who didn't want to trouble the people around him, decided to leave the hospital. Before leaving the hospital, Ronin took the time to pick up the katana sword brought by the police, and he hoped that by doing so, he could find answers about who he really was. Meanwhile, Akemi makes her clan's sign as a tattoo. And after that, she goes to meet her friend at a nightclub. At that place, Akemi had to get into a fight because a man tried to disturb her. Because of her actions, Akemi was almost arrested by the police. Meanwhile, Ronin goes to an antique shop to find out who the owner of the katana sword he is carrying is. He finally gets an address that leads to a place that turns out to be Akemi's house. Right at the same time, Akemi had just returned home, and suddenly, she was attacked by people from the nightclub who wanted to take revenge on Akemi. In a helpless and cornered state, Akemi tried to fight them all with all her might, but her efforts failed because Akemi was alone while her opponents numbered 3 people. Luckily, Ronin, who was in her house, immediately helped Akemi. Then the scene moves to Takeshi, now in Brazil, to find Akemi's whereabouts. Once he arrived at Akemi's house, Takeshi immediately killed everyone there. Akemi also fled in fear because she thought Takeshi was after her. Akemi and Ronin then went to their teacher's house to take refuge from Takeshi. Finally, the facts about the owner of the katana sword were revealed. It turns out that the owner of the sword is Akemi's grandfather, but Akemi didn't know about it all. All Akemi knew about her grandfather was that he was just an old man who lived like everyone else. Her teacher then told her something important that she should know, which was that the sword was destined to return to Akemi's hands. He asked her to find out more about it by giving her a photo and an address. In the photo, Takeshi is with some people who look like family. Out of curiosity, Akemi went to the address given by her teacher. Ronin, who noticed Akemi's departure, followed her in the hope of finding answers that could help him know more about him. Once they arrived, they met an old man named Chiba, a friend of her grandfather. He then explains to Akemi that the katana sword she holds comes from the bloodline of the Takikawa clan. Despite the explanation, Akemi still didn't know about her family tree. She then asked about the Takikawa clan in more detail, but Chiba did not want to tell her more about it. So in the end, there was nothing Akemi could do but be patient. Akemi was then invited to rest in that place, but she couldn't sleep because she kept thinking about everything that had happened to her. An old woman then took Akemi to the cemetery located located behind the house. How surprised Akemi was when she saw that her grandfather's grave was also there. Akemi then took a box from her grandfather's grave. The box contained a newspaper about the massacre that happened to the Takikawa clan. Akemi suddenly recalled her memories of the incident. Not long after, Takeshi came to the place. He then said that he was one of the Yakuza who used to work in Clan Takikawa. His arrival was to save Akemi because his current boss, Kenichi, knew that the successor to Takikawa was still alive and sent his men to hunt Akemi. Meanwhile, Kojiro managed to find Akemi's place and immediately killed everyone there. Kojiro is also seen executing Chiba, who betrayed Kenichi. At that time, Ronin was sleeping in the warehouse and was surprised to see everyone in that place dead. In a state of urgency, Akemi and Takeshi tried to leave the place because they were outnumbered and would definitely be overwhelmed if they had to deal with Kojiro's men. In the end, she had no choice but to leave Ronin there. After Akemi and Takeshi arrive at a safe place, Takeshi tells her everything about her family. He told Akemi that Akemi was a descendant of the Takikawa clan, Japan's most feared Yakuza. When she was a child, her entire family was slaughtered by her father's enemy, Kenichi. As the only survivor of the tragedy, Akemi, as the last successor of Clan Takikawa, will be protected by Takeshi, Akemi's father's confidant. He then asked one of his subordinates, Daisuke, to run to Brazil with Akemi and change their identities. Daisuke then claimed that he was Akemi's grandfather. Daisuke plans to reveal everything about himself when Akemi is an adult, but fate had to say otherwise. Daisuke was killed by the hitman hired by Kenichi. The hitman was none other than Ronin. Therefore, Takeshi came to Brazil to bring Akemi back to Japan, where several leaders of organizations that had worked with Akemi's father were ready to avenge her family and her as the legitimate leader of the Takikawa clan. After hearing all the explanations, Akemi became even more determined to avenge her family and decided to return to Japan. Before leaving Brazil, Akemi went to her teacher's house to say goodbye. But what a surprise when Akemi found that her teacher was dead. Not long after, Ronin appeared at that place. Seeing Ronin there, Akemi accused Ronin of killing her teacher, but Ronin denies it and states that he can't remember anything. Blinded by her sense of revenge, Akemi doesn't believe Ronin's excuse, especially when she knew that Ronin was the murderer who had killed her grandfather.
A hitman. Ronin.
After dealing with Ronin, Akemi and Takeshi head to Japan with the help of some people still loyal to Clan Takigawa. The two of them then rush to the helicopter pickup place. But they were betrayed. They thought those people were still loyal to the Takigawa clan, but they wanted to kill Akemi and Takeshi. Using her katana sword, Akemi managed to kill all Kenichi's men. All the things that happened made her even more convinced that she had to become the successor to the Takigawa clan. After that, Akemi and Takeshi continued their goal and climbed to the top of the building to catch the helicopter they had rented. But the helicopter is not there. Instead, Kojiro and his men are waiting for them there. Kojiro is furious when he sees Takeshi protecting Takigawa's successor. He then took his katana and killed Takeshi. Ronin unexpectedly appeared and immediately helped Akemi. Ronin managed to kill 2 of Kojiro's men. Only Kojiro is left. Akemi then challenges Kojiro to a duel using their respective katana swords. Akemi and Kojiro clashed slashes, and finally, Akemi managed to slash Kojiro right in the neck. After that, she saw Ronin, who was lying helpless. She is still upset with Ronin and intends to kill him, but Ronin apologized and told her he couldn't remember what he had done. Akemi finally forgives Ronin, but on one condition. Ronin must work under her power because she will return to Japan and avenge her family. In the last scene, we see Kenichi in his house, and the katana sword in one of the glass boxes disappears. That means that Akemi has successfully infiltrated Kenichi's house, and the movie is over. Don't forget to click subscribe, like, and comment.